I'm Daniel Alexander. I'm a filmmaker. I've been making content for the past 15 years now in Birmingham. So on a day-to-day basis, I direct, I produce, I shoot content for TV, online platforms. So I think the inspiration, it wasn't even film in the beginning. I think it was more based around music and the kind of environment I grew up in. And it was just the fact of creativity was, for me, the kind of way out where I got to have a voice. So going through the schooling system and education and, trying to do things in the way which society tells me that I'm supposed to do things, I could see the benefit, but at the same time, I felt like it wasn't talking to me as a person. So I needed my out, I needed to find my voice. So that's why I was dabbling with music, I was dabbling with film and some sort of kind of, any sort of moving image. And it allowed me to find a voice that I didn't find in school. It's mad because it's not even like I struggled with school from an academic level. Do you know what I mean? It was just the fact of I was always that person that was asking questions, and it felt like I was asking too many questions for school, because it was kind of like, don't ask those questions outside of the straight and narrow. And then as soon as somebody tells me, that kind of rebellious spirit that I feel may just be my DNA made me be like, no, I want to ask them questions. So it made me seek those answers, which was away from school. Because when I'm looking at things like, I want to do creative work, I want to do X, Y, and Z. While I was in school, there was no avenue for that. It was kind of like, you go and work in a bank or a shop or something after. So it's kind of like, all right, then them conversations ain't happening here. Where can I have them conversations? So from there, from school, I remember the last day of school, like in year 11, my attendance was 33%, I remember, which is just low, like just super low. Like I remember, I think I went to like one French lesson for the year. I didn't know where my form class was. I think I went to one signing for the year. They thought I left school, that's how bad it was. Because in them days, they didn't really write home like that. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like no one really knew where I was. And it's like I wasn't doing anything bad. I just didn't want to go to school. I've always been a good kid. Do you know what I mean? Like I've always, it's mad because the communities that I'm from and like my friends and stuff, like they're in all sorts of craziness. Do you know what I mean? But I've always been the person that I am. And I think that's why I've never had any trouble growing up in any environment that I'm in, because everybody knew that I was very much, I knew myself to that degree. Like, no, I don't get involved in drugs. I don't get involved in whatever madness you that are going on with over there. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know I'm around it, and sometimes that's just as bad sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But like, that's not for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, you lot are just my friends, and just because of where I live, we're just friends, but I know that's not for me. Like, I want to do some creative stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I was always aware of who I was, and people respected that. Do you know what I mean? So it was always cool like that. So I started this computer course in Raleigh Close in Handsworth, or Camp Lane, right next to Raleigh Close in Handsworth. And it was cool. It was cool, but again, I was within a community of people that also wanted to do creative stuff again. And you're with your friends and whatever, so it's a completely different environment. And again, I'm looking for answers that the educational system isn't giving me. So I'm merging with my friends now, and we're developing these things, and a lot of them are doing music, and I'm like, well, I want to do some music, some video stuff. And so it kind of just went hand in hand. So I started shooting really low budget music videos, and thinking, okay, I don't know how this is going to work, but I know that I need to make a career off doing this because I found what I love. I fell in love with something. Do you know what I mean? I've messed around with loads of things, music, technology, blah, 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 but videos, filmmaking is what I fell in love with. And I feel like without having that kind of freedom to experience them tasters, I just never would have knew. That's why I see so many people now growing up, and it's just like, what's your passion? What do you want to do? And they're like, I don't know. Because I feel like you've been caught in a particular type of system which hasn't given you the benefit to explore and taste different things. You know what I mean? Like, where I can't expect everyone to have that kind of rebellious nature that I have. Sometimes it can completely go against you as well if you get caught up in the wrong thing. But I was lucky enough to have that drive to go and ask questions and seek out what gives me fulfillment. So once I found I like making films, I like making music videos, I started shooting videos for my friends. And luckily enough, in them days, not everybody, music videos weren't a big thing. No one really had music videos back in the days. It's kind of like mad. So, and because I found what was meant for me, I excelled at it really quickly. So little old me with no money, but I had access to a camera, because while my friends were buying all sorts of madness, I just saved up my money, didn't go out or anything, and I just brought a camera. And it allowed me to start working on stuff. And I remember one of the first videos that I did ended up on MTV. which in them days was like, man, it's still difficult to get a video on TV today. And that just became a repeated cycle over and over again. And the stuff that I made just kept going on TV and TV and TV till my name was very much a case of, oh, Daniel Alexander is a video director. In them days, it wasn't even Daniel Alexander. I was operating under a different company. But again, because I had no guidance, the mistake that I made was, because I'm shooting a lot of videos for my friends, and my friends were involved in a lot of illegal activities and whatever. I remember one of the first videos that we did ended up in a newspaper, because it was, again, music videos aren't big, so it was classed as, is this gang activity? Why are there so many black people gathered together wearing similar colours, rapping about all sorts of craziness? So that was a lesson for me. That was kind of like, all right, then I have to separate. These are my friends. But if I'm trying to make a business, I'm gonna have to be like, guys, remember we're friends and we go play basketball or football together. But you see, when it comes to business, we're gonna have to separate a little bit when it comes to that, because it's just not correlating too well. And again, obviously everybody's cool, everybody understood and knew what was going on. Like I didn't even know what the industry was. Do you know what I mean? I just knew that I was one place and all the real work was happening somewhere else. And I didn't know how to get there. I didn't have no relationships. I didn't know anybody. All I knew was at that particular time, there was nobody that looked like me in those rooms where things are happening, where the deals are getting made, where people are getting funding, where films are getting made. Like literally, I think even statistically, it's less than 3% of non-white people make up the industry as a whole, which practically means you're invisible. You know what I mean? So back then it was even worse. So for me, it was ignorance. And I think that's what kind of saved me, in a sense of, nobody told me the way to do it. Whereas now you've got guides and it's just like, go and work on this set for 10 years, making cup of teas, or go and do this over there. I didn't have any of that. I was just kind of like taking that kind of growing up outside mentality and applying it to the corporate world, which was basically, I want it, so I'm going to come and take it. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to put myself here. Like I'm not really taking no for an answer. So I was making films and not understanding the fact that this isn't how you're supposed to make a film. You need more money to make a film like that. But I'm from a community where it's just like, we just get it done, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, we haven't got money for a sound guy. All right, then what we'll do is we'll get a broom handle and we're going to borrow a microphone from my man's studio over there. And we're going to sellotape it up and we're going to do it. Coming from nothing has taught me to do with 10K what it takes others 100K to do. Do you know what I mean? And I can do it effectively, and visually you will not tell the difference, because I know how to do with what I've got, if that makes sense. I'm not saying that's okay. And I feel like, as you know, a person that's coming from my particular background, that shouldn't even be normalized to a degree, because it's just not cool. Do you know what I mean? But I've learned that. So with films, so like even some of the more recent films that I've made, do you know what I mean? It's just like, it's understanding that while other people may need, 20 grand to go and hire this person with this set of skills, and this person over there that's got this set of expertise and blah, 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 because I've been forced to learn these things myself, what I've done as a very conscious strategy is teach the people around me these skills. So instead of me having to go and hire them for crazy amount of monies, I've now got a community of people around me that I can give regular work to. So with a lot of the films that I've made, I've used the community that I've built in regards to teaching these skills and et cetera, et cetera. And because I've been forced to learn so many different skills myself, it just means that we can create things quickly. We don't always have to wait on funding. We don't have to wait on people to say yes. What that has done is created a respect amongst the industry, where people were looking in and being like, how is this boy by himself doing this, man? How is that on TV? How did he get that over there? How has he got this relationship over there? And it just slowly started building, where because of that respect level, relationships started to form. So it's just mad. Like, I remember just looking up at companies thinking, I wonder how one day I can maybe get into this BBC thing, or I wonder one day how I can get this BFI funding, where now those relationships are so beautiful, where they call me now, do you know what I mean? And like BFI just called to partner with me on a new thing for their funding. So a new thing where we're looking at how we can fund new people that don't necessarily always get funding. BBC are calling me in to do what, like I'm currently in the middle of a documentary for BBC One coming out in Jan, where they've called me. It's not me knocking on them doors anymore. And that's because of the relationship and the work that's been put in to say, we're going to do it anyway. Do you know what I mean? We're going to do it anyway. And I'm passionate about not just getting work done for the whole kind of money side of thing, or even the self-gratification of a ego career-wise. It's about showing the people around me what's possible. Because I want to make sure that after me, it's possible for other people as well who don't necessarily have to be looking up in the sky wondering where these answers are coming from. Like there's a better blueprint. So that's the kind of resources and resourcefulness I've been implementing.